Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the 10th round of this season, the 14th season of Formula Virtual Racing, and we're here at the last race of this season already. Legend Rosenberg, he's wrapped up the championship already, but there's all to play for the second place, as we have Avesta Gobali leading that with 108 points. Behind him, Dylan McClements with 96 points, and Luke Davies only 1 point behind Dylan on 95. So still a lot to play for the second place, as we are here in a very rainy Brazil, it seems. I think everyone is out on the wet tire at the moment, and that is correct. We've got someone making a debut. He's quite familiar with the league overall, but he will be in the driving seat for the first time ever in this league. It's of course Alvin Dalton, as you can see. He has done a good amount of races, but from the position that I am in right now, so you could say we swapped positions. But it's good to see Evan on track this time round, and let's hope he can put in a satisfying result for himself. So you have the first yellow, that is Timden Higher, but it seems to be all clear here. Last time round we saw Avesta Gobadi winning the race. That was in Mexico. Only two people in this entire season that have won a race. That is Legend Rosenberg and then of course Avesta Gobadi, as Sam Fate is the first one to put down a lap time with a 20.4 here. And there is Liam Houseman, who beats that with a 19.3. Saying that, there is of course Legend Rosenberg, 18.4 to go to the top. I think that will be the benchmark for now, but the track, if it doesn't dry, then it will experience some evolution quickly. So we see Dylan McClements opting for the intermediate tire here. He's not out on the track yet, so it could just be to check the delta, but wouldn't be really a surprise if we see people switching to the inters quickly, because regardless of this heavy amount of rain, the inter is often still the best tire to be on when it's raining. Nathan Marriott going to 19.1 to set himself in P2 at the moment. Should just be a big train of people driving many laps to see who gets the best time. I think it will just be staying out on track throughout the first qualifying session for everyone here. So you have a Legend right behind his teammate here, Tim Higher. Are they thinking of giving a slipstream, as we have Avesta Gobadi going to an 18.2 there to beat that number one spot here in qualifying. And that is Callum Birch to 18.4. So Legend has some competition here. Always great to see not having one dominant factor for the entire season. That's pretty much what we have seen this season from Legend Rosenberg. Every time he was here, he won the race. So luckily everyone who is in the championship fight for that second position, they're all here. Once again, that is Avesta, Dylan McClements and Luke Davies, who is currently in P5 with a 19.2. As Avesta is coming into the pits here, and I'm sure he will possibly go for the inters later on. Did we see a little overtake there from Callum into the pit lane? I believe that was on Niels Hardel. And Barbune with a good time, 19.3. That puts him into P7. That's a good lap from Barbune. So you're seeing Evan Dalton completing his lap time. That puts him into P6 with a 19.2, and followed by his teammate who gets a good improvement as well. That's an 18.5 for Luke Davies, and that puts him into P5. So Williams cars are going underway quite well at the moment, but we still have 10.5 minutes to go for qualifying. Of course, I have no idea what the race will be. Could be rain, could be dry. Don't think we'll see any snow, but you never know. As Legend Rosenberg, he sets out a new benchmark. That is 17.4, and that is Legend into P1 once again. Let's see who else we've got across the line. That is Nathan Merritt. He doesn't seem to be improving on his lap time, so that will be just him going into a new lap. Behind him is his teammate Pierre. He is on an improvement, only a minor one, but it's close to 2/10. Pierre Deleuran, who has had a difficult season, puts himself into P7 now in this tricky qualifying session. So a decent lap there from Pierre. Let's see who else we've got. That is Evan Dalton once again. He doesn't seem to be improving. That is 9 seconds up on his last time, but that's really what it is in the wet conditions. You really need to just oh, that's a big snap there from Evan, almost losing it there coming out of the Senna SS. And we have Liam Hausman into P2. Liam loves these kinds of conditions where it's a little bit rainy. Of course, he took pole in Miami quite a while ago. He's currently in P2, although he's a good 5/10 behind Legend. P2 is P2. We can't argue with that. And that is Nathan Marriott now coming across the line, and he puts himself into P4 on an 18.2. I think we have some good amount of track evolution here, as the times are getting faster. Let's see who else we've got on track. Pierre coming around once again, but he goes into the pits. Then we have got Evan, who has invalidated his lap. We've got an Alpine, that is the teammate of Liam Hausman. That is Dylan McClements, who we expect high up on the list. Let's watch on board with Dylan here for his first lap of qualifying on the intermediate tire, as hopefully the first of many. Oh, as we have Callum Birch going to a 17.0. As you maybe saw earlier, we had Tim Den Heijer going into P3 as well on that intermediate tire. It seems like that is the best tire to be on right now. We'll keep an eye on Dylan, but let's just focus on the rest of the people who are in their laps right now. I believe Barbune is still on the wets, so don't really expect an improvement from him. But there is Dylan McClements going to a 17.0. He was glitching around a little bit. I think that is just some connection issues there, but looks like he's all good here with a 17.0. That's only 4 hundredths behind Callum. But we still have to wait for Avesta and Legend to go out for a run on the Inter tire. We see Niels Hardo going for a 18.3 on the Inters, and Luke Davies, he doesn't seem to be improving, as we can see on the top right, plus 0.15 that was, which means he's up on his time. And that is Callum Birch to a 16.6. Let's actually keep an eye on everyone coming across the line now. I think that is Pierre Delerne, who is on his outlap. Next up is indeed Luke Davies, I think. That is correct. Just up on his previous time. Will he go under? Nope, he won't. He will stay where he is at right now. That is Dylan McClemens once again, but he doesn't seem to be improving. Is Evan Dalton on a lap? No, he's on his outlap. He has invalidated that one. We've got Legend, who is going to start his lap. Behind him is Avesta Gavadi, who is going to start his lap. We need to keep an eye on those two. And then behind them we've got Adrian Tishy starting his lap, and Sam Fade, who is also starting his lap. So we need to keep an eye on those guys. Evan seems to be leading that pack. Julius about to start his lap. Who else we've got on the lap? That is Cam Dogger. He's still on the wets. He believes that is the best tire perhaps. Or will he go in now? I believe he will. That is correct. And then Callum Birch, who comes across the line once again. Yeah, he will, but inside of the pits. So no improvement from Callum so far. Pierre, he will come across the line and he will go to a 118.0. That puts him into P5. His teammate will follow, but he will start his lap. Then we've got Luke Davies, who is improving big time. 17.4. That puts him into P3. And then we need to look at the group behind, because that is Evan Dalton coming across the line first. He is on an improvement of about 1 second here. And next up will be Legend. So we will just tune in for Legend here. That will indeed be Legend to a 16.2. And Avesta improves that with about 1/10 as he goes to a 16.1. As Evan did a 18.3. That's a good lap from Evan. That puts him into P11. And Liam Houseman, big improvement. Right behind his teammate Dylan McClemens. That is P5. We've seen numerous of times the Alpines running well in qualifying. The most recent example was of course the Great Britain race, where we saw Matthew Cobbs into pole position, and Niels Hardel qualifying high up on the order as well. Now we see a P4 and a P5. They're actually very close in time as well. Let's actually look at Nathan Marriott here. He will come across the line and he will get an improvement surely. That is P4 for Nathan Marriott. He goes to a 16.9, that is. What else we've got? Avesta has seemed to overtaken Legend here to go for his run. Will he go into the pits? We'll have to see. The answer is yes, he will go into the pits, and I think that will be the same for Legend, although that is not really true. He decides to keep going, and he's being overtaken by Evan, that is, into turn 1. Still very wet, I believe. We will have a wet race, but could all change in a couple of seconds still. Julius, he was on a good improvement, and then he invalidated his lap time, which means he is going into the pits now. I doubt Julius will make it for another lap, so I think that will be P12 for him. The Zaubers as well, they need to start doing something. They're in last position now. They had a good race in Monaco, picking up a good amount of points, but surely you don't want to end the season with 2 cars in last position. Kandoger quite a bit off as well, actually. He's on a 20.2, whereas his teammate is on a 18.9. which is only 6 tenths off the man on a debut. That is Evan Dalton. He will come across the line once again here. He's on a 3 tenths improvement here. See where it puts him. Puts him in P8. That's a good lap from Evan. That is right behind his teammate in the order. As we're seeing Avesta going out now. He is right there. Thought that was Avesta on the pit exit, but that is Julius, who will come out side by side with Legend there. Legend seems to be on the lap, so actually let's watch on board with Legend. As we watch the order on the left side. Whoa, 5 tenths from Legend. That's a big improvement coming. So we see Avesta coming across the line to start his last lap here. Can Legend stretch out one more? Will it even be necessary? That is of course the question. I don't think he can get one more, but he goes to the top here with a 15.6. That is the time to beat here for Avesta and Callum. Callum doesn't seem to be improving. He is only a little bit behind on his last lap, but it won't be enough to really gain a position unless he can gain a tenth or 3 here in the last sector. Coming across the line, that is not Sam Fate, that is Niels Hardel. He goes to P14. Then we've got a McLaren. That is Pierre Delorme. He will go to a 17.4. That is a P9 for Callum. Sorry, for Pierre. Callum coming across the line now. He will go to P2 actually. He managed to get 3 tenths out of that last sector. And there we have Cam Doger into P11. Then comes Tim Den Heijer, followed by Sam Fate, who stays in P11. Tim Den Heijer goes to P7. Then we've got Borbune, who stays in P14. We've got Luke Davies on a big improvement. 8 tenths, that is. He goes to P4. Followed by Sagabadi. Is he challenging for that pole position? He is. That is a 15.5, and that puts him into P1 ahead of Legend Rosenberg for this race. With only 900s splitting the two. That is a great lap from Avest actually. Well, we've got Evan Dalton, of course. He is last to come across the line, but he's not improving. He will start P9 for this race. And that is qualifying for the last time this season. That is your running order here. Avest Sagabadi in P1, followed by Legend Rosenberg in P2. Only 900 splitting the both of them. Then we've got Callum in P3 with a 15.9. Dylan McClemens in P4. That is good for his title hopes for P2 at least. With him behind him is Luke Davies. He is P5. Then we've got Nathan Merritt in P6. Liam Hausman good qualifying for P7. Same goes for Tim Den Heijer. P8. Evan Dalton on his debut. He goes to P9. And Pierre Delorme rounds off the top 10 for this Brazilian Grand Prix. It looks to be dry here so far. Perhaps it could come later on in this race, but so far it looks like it's going to be a dry race. I expect we're going to see a hard to medium strategy, perhaps the other way around. Maybe we could even see people going for medium soft, but that is up to them. I don't really know if that is the right move or not. As we're waiting for the race to go underway. Normally it takes about a minute or so. course, Brazil, the Sao Paulo circuit at Interlagos, a really high downforce circuit. You really want to be maximizing the usage of your wings, both of them. You don't want to lose them, of course, but that is there's no scenario where it's ideal to lose one of your wings. So, but of course, especially on this circuit, as you really need it. And at the same time, of course, you need a lot of straight line speed to help that DRS or defend from it if you're not doing that well. As that is the first light, and we're about to get underway. That is lights out and we go racing. That is a good start from Legend. Can he go into the inside here of Avestegabadi? He can. That is a P1 for Legend Rosenberg. He is on the softs. Avestegabadi went for that medium tire as we have people falling down the order at the back. Dylan McClemens got a great start. He put himself into P3. Then we've got Callum Birch who got himself into P4. It looks like Luke Davies thrown down a little bit. He's going to P6 as we have some contact there. I believe that was just a braking board there. Oh no, it's not. It's just a glitch. There's like particles flying for no reason. We've got Legend Rosenberg leading the race after the first couple of turns. That is perhaps a little bit of a surprise. We actually see who got the most position changes. That is Adrian Tishy. He got a great start. He put himself into P10, but Pierre Delerne, he got a bad start. That is P16. He lost 6 positions in that first lap. Looks like everyone on the inside of this track, everyone who started on the left, they got a good start because they all went up 1 position. And everyone on the right side, for the top 6 at least, they lost the position. Let's actually look at the tire choices now, because that is of course quite important for the rest of the race. Well, that maybe explains it. There is number 1, 3 and 5 who have opted for the soft tire, as we have the other ones, they're all mediums, but we'll have to see how this plays out. I believe it will be a soft to medium race then for most of the people. Well, actually it's quite evenly split between the soft and the medium runners. It's good to see 2 different strategies as well for the people who are number 1 and 2 here. Avesta, of course, playing it safe. He wants to defend that second position, but on the other hand, he most likely wants to win this race and wants to beat Legend. That is the fastest lap there from Avesta, 9.5. And it looks like the medium runners can follow quite well. Someone who can't really follow is Nathan Marriott. He can't really find the pace here. Fallen down over a second in his first 2 laps, and he's being overtaken by Luke Davies there. Luke has a big gap to close to the front here, because his 2 main opponents here, they're in P2 and 3, and he is in P5, which means he would not get his hands on that second place at the end of this season. Now it's just a matter of trying to follow Legend, trying to stay with Legend. I believe that is regardless of how fast Legend is. The DRS seems to be quite powerful here. I think that is Avesta going for a move even on the inside. If it's not Avesta, then it is Dylan McClemens. He's going for a move, but he stays just behind there, as he couldn't stick the move on the inside of turn 1 there. Coming out of the Senna SS, he has a big wobble of Avesta, and now Dylan McClemens gets a second chance. Can he go to the inside? Will he just stay behind? He will stay behind, but that was Avesagabadi, who was shortly looking for a move on Legend, decided to stay behind, and then suddenly Dylan McClemens tried to make a move. It's a four-man race here between Legend Rosenberg, Avesagabadi, Dylan McClemens and Callum Birch. Two of them on the mediums, two of them on the softs. And behind them is a big gap to Luke Davies, who is already 3 seconds behind now. Of course, that DRS is really important. He's got someone else pushing behind him, that is Liam Houseman. He seems to be working on getting some points for the Alpine team here. We've seen countless of times Alpine being in a good position for the race and then losing it all at the end. Let's hope that doesn't happen once again today. Nathan Marriott seems to be struggling. He's already lost the position to Liam Houseman as well, of course. And doesn't look like he can really make a gap for himself. He's being pushed by Evan Dalton, that is. He is on the mediums as well. And he can follow quite well at the moment. Not bad for a commentator, that is. As he's currently in P8. And we saw Kaan Dogger pick up 3 seconds. And we have a yellow flag at the back. That is Pierre Deleuran. But seems to be all good for him. He can continue his race. It looks like the Zaubers are really struggling here. Including this one. That is Julius Kastner, who is in P14. He started last. So still managed to make up 2 places, as we saw a big slide there from Sam Fate. There's a battle going on here that is between Luke Davies and Liam Houseman, and then it's only a minor gap behind them, and I believe we will see Evan Dalton go for a move here. There's the wrong car. This is Evan Dalton. He will go for a move on the inside here on turn 4. Do they touch? No, they don't. Was very close there, but Evan staying behind for now. He needs to work on his ERS. Needs to save, as Nathan Marriott, he has a little bit more than that. And Luke Davies seems to be managing it well. How's it with the front, guys? Callum Birch has pretty much a full battery. Same goes for Dylan McClemens. Same goes for Avesagabadi. And Legend Rosenberg once again hiding it. He seems to be chill as well. Of course, there's no real need to push it now, as 2 of them are on the soft tire, the other 2 are on the medium tire. I don't know if there will be rain later on, but reading the messages earlier, I think it's going to be dry throughout the whole race. And then we see Dylan McClemens fighting it out with Callum Birch here. They're side by side here, and Callum Birch around the outside there gets the position. Dylan McClemens fighting back, but he just has to stay behind there as Callum Birch stays around the outside. Meanwhile, we saw Avesagabadi in the front getting himself that first position. Of course, that doesn't really bother Legend, I think, because they're mainly just driving the race until something critical happens, or when it really matters, which is to come across the line in first at the last lap. That is what you want. We see Sam Fate into the pits as first, and he has retired from the race. I believe we saw him spinning earlier on. We didn't really see that on screen, but we saw it on the right side there on the map. Will that be Legend Rosenberg going for P1 again? I don't think so. I think he will just stay behind. That is indeed what he does, and it's just going to be a cruise, because they've got a gap of about 4 seconds to Liam Houseman, who is dealing with Luke Davies behind him, and the teammate of Luke Davies, that is for this race Evan Dalton, who giving good first impressions. He is Evan, and we see a car spinning again. Is that Sam Fate's car still? I believe that is still Sam Fate's car at the back. Let's hope that doesn't cause any problems for this race, but I believe he will be gone soon. Nathan Merritt really struggling to keep up with anyone at this point. Look at that sliding there from Nathan. Perhaps he's got something wrong in the setup. There is Timden Higher right behind him. Can he go for a move here? It looks like it's going to be a little far. As we see Luke Davies overtaking Liam. But, oh, and that is Liam with a 3 seconds. That is unfortunate. Liam was having a good race and now he's thrown it all away once again. That is Sam Fate officially out of the session. We don't see him on track either, so seems to be all good. But yeah, it will be in no time that we see Timden Higher making a move past Nathan Merritt here. So we're on lap 9 of 36 in this last round of the 14th season. Whoa, big wobble there from Nathan. At this point you really need to ask yourself, do I want to stay driving on this tire or do I just go in and then see how it goes? Because at the moment it looks like Nathan is only going down from here. Of course I wouldn't really say he's going to fall out of the points. I don't believe that is going to happen, but he's clearly struggling and you just need to get yourself new opportunities, you could say. Yes, that is Liam Houseman into P5 once again. Do we have Timden Higher on the inside there? That's a deep dive from Timden Higher. Can he stick it? There is Nathan Merritt once again. And now he needs to go around the outside. Who gets the DRS here? That is a good one actually. Looks like it is Timden Higher. He can go for the inside here. Nathan Merritt can't really defend unless he can go around the outside here. Nope. Doesn't look like he can, and that is Timden Higher into P8. Yes, that is Timden Higher into P8. Briefly, it looked like Nathan was going for a crazy move there around the outside, but he just opted to stay behind there. We've got this three-man battle here. They are really not looking at sharing this part of the track with each other. At least the two Williams, they probably are, but there's one guy who is ruining that party. That is Liam Houseman. On the inside there is Liam Houseman, but he doesn't get it done, and we have Tim McClemen's disconnect. And there is the Alpine story once again. Ay. Once again they're in a good position and things are falling apart. Liam Houseman is saving the things here. He goes to P5, but he has a 3-second penalty as well. And he's being pushed by both of the Williams drivers as he overtakes his teammate here for P4. Let's hope Dylan can get into the session quickly. Can we see a move up the front there from Legend? No, not from Legend, but look behind him. That is Callum Birch on the outside. Can he stick it around Avesta as well? It does look like it. He gets the inside there. That is a magical overtake from Callum, but he doesn't get the position in the end. That is Callum falling back to P3. He was in P1 for about 2 seconds, and then the other two said nope, that's our position, we don't want you having that. And that is how things went in terms of the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes on 166, Alpine 138. Doesn't look like much is going to change on that one. Looks like Mercedes will get the Constructors' Championship done today, if nothing happens to Legend, of course. But Dylan McClemens already fallen back to P10. Doesn't look like he's in the session yet. As that is Evan Dalton making a mistake. Falling back a little. Does he have damage? Doesn't look like it. He stays out for now. But he's lost about 5 seconds to his teammate and Liam. Now we see Callum Birch going for an overtake once again. He puts himself into P2. And in terms of driving ability, I believe we've seen a lot from Callum this season, but it hasn't really converted that into good results. Callum currently in P8 in the standings. He would get some good points here if he finishes on the podium, which would put him into P7. But yeah, he's been at the front for many times this season, but really not getting the result out when it mattered. And that means he is in P7 at the moment, but he will go to P1 in this race, overtaking Avesta. This time he does not get his position taken back, or does he? Because there is Avesta with DRS once again. There is Legend Rosenberg with DRS once again. Avesta's already made the job done. Legend Rosenberg stays behind. That is Callum remaining in P2, but Avesta Gabati, he doesn't really want to see any of it. He is currently in P1. As we're 13 laps underway. This is the 14th lap. We should see some people going into the pits not long from now. So there we have our first driver into the pits. That is not really surprising to that being Nathan Marriott. Comes into the pits first and goes for the medium tire, hoping that things will go better for him. Behind him is his teammate Pierre Delern and Borbune as well, who is going into the pits. And that is Tinden Higher past Evan Dalton. Has Evan made a mistake once again on the inside? Kyle Doger, very briefly, but he decides to back out of that. Regardless of where he finishes, Evan, I think he's done well today to show what he has to show. He's managed to follow two of his friends who are pretty quick. That is the two that we are looking at right now. They are still fighting. That is Liam Houseman and Luke Davies. They're fighting for P4. Of course, Liam Houseman with that 3 seconds and still quite a while to go before we see the finish flag. That is Luke Davies into P4 once again. As we were talking about Evan, he's going into the pits and he is opted for the hard tire. I believe that will be the only hard tire that we will see today, unless one of these two comes in for the hard tire. Is that Dylan McClemens back into the car, or is he still disconnected? I believe he's still disconnected, which is really unfortunate for Dylan. And it's basically his hopes for P2 gone there, because Luke was only 1 point behind him. That will mean Luke will get that P3 in the end if he can stay in this position. Whoa, that is a big penalty. That is a mistake that we don't see really often. That is Legend Rosenberg picking up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is a big mistake from Legend Rosenberg there. We don't really see that very often. Now this really opens up things for people like Luke, people like Liam. They were only a couple of seconds behind the top three, which is currently consisting of only Avesta and Callum. They're still fighting for that first position. And looks like a major factor has eliminated himself for the first position here at the end of this race, unless he of course can repair that damage. Callum Birch into P1s again as we're about to go halfway into this race, lap 18. Next one will be just across the halfway mark then. Legend now 20 seconds behind these guys ahead. That will be clear, but he needs to pay back those 10 seconds somehow. It could be at the end of the race, it could be under a pit stop. If he decides to go for another stop in this race, then his next stop is going to be the one where he needs to serve that penalty. So he hopes to not see a safety car. Unless it comes now, that would be quite ideal for Legend. But that is a big penalty, 10 seconds. I'm sure these guys know of it. They can see it on the top left of their screen, unless they do weird things with their HUD. But they've seen it, they know it, and they are not gonna hold back from now on. This is one of those critical moments that we talked about earlier. It's just going to be cruising till the end, but once one of these moments comes around, then you need to be at your best, and then you need to start making the moves. Legend gaining really quickly. He's already gained 3 seconds, but these guys are going to be on the softs in a few laps from now, and that is going to be even more speed for them. Currently it's just keeping these tires together, try and get the best pace out of them, which they're doing very well. They're still within 3/10 of each other for most of the laps. Is Avesta thinking about trying to break that DRS? That could be crucial, and that could mean he claims this race win. We see someone off the track, that is Adrian Tisci. He's had a spin into the wall. He's made contact with the wall. He's missing the front left side of his car. Only the wing, of course, but that is really not ideal. I think Adrian, first thing you want to do right now is to go into the pits and change that wing. What else we've got that is very interesting? We still have got this battle between these two, Liam Houseman and Luke Davies. They're in P6, P7 now. They have probably pitted because I don't know why are they behind Cam and Tim. That is because they have pitted indeed. Completely missed that as I was focusing on the front two, who are going for a little swap here once again. I'm pretty sure. Isn't that right, Callum? That is not correct. Callum is staying behind. Legend Rosenberg, he's gaining very quickly. Only 14 seconds as we speak from the lead. And for those at home who know their maths, that means 14 plus 10, that is 24 seconds. As that is his teammate into the pits. Tim Den Heijer, he's going for the soft tire. If he's going to be the first to do so after Adrian Tisci. He is the first to do so. He's going for a big stretch there, 16 laps that is. That is quite something for Tim Den Heijer. So he'll need to save the tires as much as he can, while of course using the pace you get from those fresh tires. I was talking earlier about Evan possibly being the only one choosing for the hards. He's not the only one. His teammate has chosen for the hards, and Liam Hausman has gone for the hards as well. That is a good move around the outside there of Kaan Dogger, who is of course quite a bit slower as he's on way older tires. But they've managed to clear that quite well, Luke and Liam. They're kind of fighting with nobody except for themselves at the moment. There's a gap of about 8 seconds to Nathan behind in P7, and then there's a 11.5 second gap to the guys in front. Oh, and that is Legend with 3 seconds as well. What is Legend doing? He's picked up a 3-second track limit penalty, and that puts him on 13 seconds. He was closing the gap very quickly. He's now down to 10 seconds if we just look on the left hand side there. But of course we need to add those 13 seconds to that, which currently makes 22.7. I'm curious to see what his plan is at the moment. How is he going to fix this? We've seen him do crazy things at Hungary, where he got involved in a little accident about 2 times in the race, and he still managed to win that race. Would be quite sensational if he wins this one, as he's not really in the best spot to do so. Kaan Dogger, he is hoping for a safety car, or is he going in now? I don't think he is. No, he will continue until his tires decide to give up on him. Kaan Dogger, of course, he announced his retirement earlier this season, but something happened in his head, and then he decided to say, no, I don't want to retire, I want to continue racing, and that is what he will do next season, for season 15, of course, that is. If everything goes right, then we will see Kaan Dogger on the grid once again next season. He's not really had a great season so far. It's kind of what we're used of him. He usually was far up the front, kind of in that best of the rest role, sometimes picking up a podium spot, 1 or 2. Are those 2 in the pits now? Yes, they are. Let's actually switch to these guys, as we have Vestergaard and Callum Birch now into the pits. Landry Mosenberg reclaims his first position, but he has a 13-second 13 seconds to add to his race time. How far behind will these guys come out of the pits? Oh, they've got two others to get into the mix. That is Luke Davies and Liam Houseman. Are they going to work together here to get into the DRS, to put themselves into that fight for P2? This could be crucial for Luke Davies if he can get ahead of Avesta. And Avesta manages to lose a lot of points somehow. He's 13 points behind Luke Davies in terms of the championship standing there for P2. So if Avesta finishes behind Luke directly, then it's not really a big problem. But if Luke picks up that second or third position and Avesta manages to not get any points at all, then we could see a swap taking place. This is a crucial moment, but it doesn't look like they're making use of it. They've lost 8 tenths already. Of course, they're on older tires, on the harder tire as well. These guys, they're on fresh softs. That's as good as they can be. That is currently the best tire you can be on. And it looks like Callum Birch is currently in a race-winning position. He is only 11 seconds behind Legend, who is came out on his mediums quite a while ago. His mediums are actually 9 laps old already. These guys are on 1 lap old tires. I'm quite sure they can manage to close that gap a little bit. But that's only if they keep it calm between each other for the rest of this race and go for a fight at the end of it. Unless something big happens now, this race win will be between Callum Birch and Avesta Gobadi. Callum Birch, he has not won a race this season. I believe he's not even won a race at all. We'll need to fact check that, of course. Avesta Gobadi, he's a well-known winner in the Formula Virtual Racing world. Well, I've got news for you, everyone at home. There's always been this record of there being one new winner in every season of Formula Virtual Racing. We haven't had one this season, as it's been only Avesta Gobadi and Legend Rosenberg. There's one man who could change things. That is Callum Birch. He has that pressure on his shoulders now. If Callum Birch comes across the line in first position, then he keeps up that record, then he keeps up that streak of 14 seasons with a new winner in Formula Virtual Racing. That will be magical. He's going to reclaim his second position here with just under 9 laps to go as we speak. The gap remains at 10.3. That is enough to get that win at the end. Legend Rosenberg, his tires will only get worse and worse as we are going. Same goes of course for these guys, but 3 laps, that is definitely not an old tire, and if they finish on 10 lap old softs, that's not too bad either. Legend Rosenberg already crossed that mark. He's 11 laps on that medium tire. Add up one more as he comes across the line here. That is 12 laps for him. His tires will be 18 laps old at the end of this race. That is a big difference. That's only mentioning the age difference of that tire. But of course these guys are on the soft as well, whereas Legend is on the medium tire. Luke Davies, he seems to be chill with a P4 here, just wanting to defend off Liam Houseman. Nothing more that he could have done, of course, but we've seen these two fight throughout the whole race, really. Luke and Liam. I'm curious to see who comes out on top. Of course, we've got Liam with a 3-second penalty. Would be more fun if Luke got one as well, but if you ask him to do that, then he will undoubtedly say no to that. And then he will just keep his clean sheet in terms of the penalties. Nathan Merritt, oh, big slide there from Nathan. As we are just tuning in with him, he has managed to repair the damage here. He was tumbling down the order quite quickly early on. He is currently in P6, just cruising. Has a big gap to the guys in front and quite a gap to Evan behind as well, as we need to keep an eye on these two. Of course, Avesta once again overtaking Callum. Luke Davies once again overtaking Liam Houseman. Looks like Callum Doger will pick up a points finish. That same thing will go for Team Den Hire. I think those in P11 and under don't really stand a chance. It looks like Dylan McClellan still hasn't managed to reconnect to this session, or he's just given up on it. Are we going to see a safety car later on in this race? That would be right now, as we see Adrian Tishy on the left side of the track there. We see a flickering yellow on the top left, but it seems to be green now. So no need to start screaming just yet. Is that what he wants now, Legend Rosberg? Does he want that safety car? Because he has that 13-second penalty. I don't think he can do much to repair the damage. If he goes into the pits now, he would come out right behind Liam Houseman, I think. Maybe even close to Nathan, if that was under a safety car, of course. And he would still have those 3 seconds. So there's not really a great chance that Legend gets himself the win here today, unless something big happens. At the moment, he remains on the podium. He would drop behind just 2 places, behind Avesta and Callum, of course. The gap of 7 seconds from Luke to Callum means that he will finish just between those two. So you see Callum going for a move once again. Lap 32 of 36, only 5 laps to go. Callum, you want to be in P2 for that last lap. Saying that to both of them, of course. DRS is too powerful to defend from that. Once we go into lap 36, you want to be the car behind, and you want to be close behind, because then you can easily make a move. How is it with the battery percentage here? That's not big thing, so let's just have a look at it. Looks like they're both fine with their battery at the moment. And I'm sure Avesta will go for a move once again here. It really is a battle between a seasoned veteran here and someone who's really shown what he can do, but hasn't really turned that into a big result just yet. Can he do it on this last race of this season? That would be mega for Callum. As the fight between Luke Davies and Liam Houseman is still going, and I believe that will be going till the end. And it would be more exciting if Liam didn't get those 3 seconds, but that's just how it goes. Sometimes he has kept it clean throughout the rest of the race, so that's of course good for Liam, as Legend has already crossed the line. now to go into lap 34. And that means we have only 3 laps left. That will be Callum Birch once again. Will he go for a move? Yes, he will. That is Callum Birch in P2 again. And I believe we will keep our eyes on this one. But we've got one more move from Liam. No, we don't. We'll keep our eyes on this one at the front. This will be for the win. Unless Legend can get his penalties removed. But I doubt he will. That is Callum off the track. Don't think he will get a penalty from that. Only a warning. Which he will happily take. Looks like Callum is struggling a little bit. But the pace is still very well there. They need to focus, of course, on that gap not becoming 13 seconds. If that gap becomes 13 seconds, the gap between P2 and P1 at any time, then Legend Rosenberg has done magical things. Looked like they were only gaining earlier on, but they need to keep things straight here. That is Pierre Deleuran with a 10-second penalty at the end. That is a shame for Pierre. But he is in a P13, so it won't really hurt him that much. As we're in the penultimate lap here on the last race of the 14th season here of Formula Virtual Racing. And looks like it's going to be one of these two to come across the line in second, but to claim that first position. Legend Rosenberg, there's not much that he can do. He can only hope that these guys are going to have a big accident at the last lap of this race. Are they going to keep it clean? This is the position you want to be in if you're a Vesta. You want to be in that position behind coming into that last lap. How much can Callum do to defend? That is the question. Can he use a lot of his battery? Can he stay ahead? Avesta Gabadi, he has 2 more chances. That is on the first coming straight out of the Senna SS, which is right here. And on the last straight towards the finish line. That is the last chance Avesta will get. Can he go for a move here? We'll watch on board with Avesta. Doesn't look like he can. He does have his battery charged still. Same goes for Callum Birch. They both have a lot of battery. It looks like it's going to be Callum getting the win in the end, unless Avesta can do something here. How close can Avesta stay to Callum? How much dirty air is there behind Callum's car? How much turbulence does this car create to the Aston Martin behind? And more importantly, can Callum keep it ahead to claim his first ever Formula Virtual Racing victory? Will be only a couple of seconds until that is decided. Callum goes for a big move here. He goes behind Avesta, gives him the position. Is that the smart move here? I don't think it is. I think Callum just gave away his win. He's gaining a lot here, but Avesta gets that P1. And that was not a smart move from Callum. He gave away the win there, I'm pretty sure. It's only a 1/10 gap between the two, but that is the record broken, that is the streak broken. It is not 14 seasons in a row that we have a new winner, because Avesta Gabadi picks up another one this season. And we've seen 2 winners this season. It will remain only 2 of them, Avesta Gabadi and Legend Rosenberg, getting themselves as the only 2 winners of this season. Once more, one of those 2 wins, and once more Avesta Gabadi wins, as he does it back to back after last week. More important for Avesta, he gets himself into P2 in the championship, and I'm sure he will be happy with that. But he would prefer to have that number that he has now in the championship standings as well. That, of course, being a number 1 spot. But Avesta Gabadi claims himself another race victory. And Callum Birch once again pretty much throwing it away. Legend Rosenberg, he has been beaten today. That is quite rare to see at the moment, but it has happened, and this is your top 3 for the last race of this season. That is your top 10. I'll include the ones below as well. Avastagabadi P1, Callum Birch P2, Legend Rosenberg in P3, Luke Davies claims P4 in the end, Liam Houseman picks up another penalty, gets himself P5, then Nathan Merritt in P6, good recovery, Niels Hardle with a P7, we didn't really see him, but that's a good result for him. Debut maker, Evan Dalton, he gets P8, Kaan Dogger gets P9, Timden Heyer P10, Julius Gassner P11, Borbjorn P12, Pierre Deleuren P13, Adrian Tishy gets P14. Then we've got Dylan McClemens in P15 and Sam Fate picks up last position. That is P16. That was a really hectic race, we could say, for our last one. That was a race with a lot of things happening, really. And in the end, it was Avesta to win the race once more. Don't think we'll manage to get any interviews in, as we're just going to summarize it once more. That is Avesta Gabadi picking up the race win. Callum Birch making a very controversial move there at the end of the race. He gives himself that second position. Was it a smart move? I have no idea, but I think at that point you just want to stick it in front. You just want to keep your car ahead of the one behind. Don't play games and just go for it. And it looked like he made the wrong decision there. But Legend Rosenberg, he picks up third position. Doesn't really matter for him. He has his title already. And that is the last race of this season. We will, of course, be back in quite some time. I think there will be quite a break ahead of us. But it was a good and enjoyable season. We've seen a dominant force being there once again. But we've also seen some people with under the radar in performances and improvements. So that's all, of course, good to have. That will be it for today. I don't think I'll manage to stretch it any more than this, so I won't. Like I said earlier, we will be back soon for the 15th season of Formula Virtual Racing. In the meantime, keep an eye on the socials. That's all I can say really. We'll just give you some posts reflecting on, of course, this season and the championship really. And then next up will, of course, be season 15. So that will be it. And that is where I'm going to end it. Thanks for watching, everyone at home. Thanks for enjoying the races with us for this season. And we didn't really have Evan on board many times, but we had him on board today in the driver role. And I'm sure he's enjoyed that. I've enjoyed it. So see you in season 15.